Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to the Pan-African Leadership Center. My name is Salome Mwirore. I'm a freelance journalist. We are streaming live on the United States of Africa social media platforms. Today, we'll be discussing the role of women in leadership, and I'm pleased to have Ayisha Shollei as my guest. Let us look at her profile. Ayisha Shollei is an architect and a social entrepreneur. She's the CEO of Sunspeak Construction Africa, and she's also vying to be a member of County Assembly. And Ayisha, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Maybe you can give us a brief and maybe just introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you so much, Salome, for having me. It's actually an honor. And so good afternoon, good morning from wherever you're watching. My name is Ayisha Shollei. As she described, I am a contractor. I deal with a lot of construction, and so I am the founder of the program, and I'm also vying for the nominated seat MCA in Kenya.
So maybe let's go straight to the topic of women and leadership. What are the challenges that women face in leadership?
Hello, sorry. Salome.
So the first question is,
I think there's a network issue.
So what are the challenges that women face in leadership?
Okay. Many challenges that women face in leadership. I've gone through a lot of those challenges. I can say one has been sexual harassment. Sexual harassment in the workplace, and also it's been in the political scene and also in the construction industry. Both industries are the same because they are predominantly male. So I could say the sexual harassment really affects women in the sense that it just creates like a very hostile working situation, and sometimes it will force you to to leave work, to quit your job, not to also execute your work well. I can also say unconscious biasness is a challenge for women also in leadership as well. This is just mainly just how women are stereotyped, in certain groups. I would say, for example, I'll just use me as an example. Ayisha would be stereotyped to be to work maybe in an airline as an air hostess, or to have the more women friendly looking like jobs. So I would, especially when I was when I declared that I'm vying for MCA seat, most of actually the Kenyans were making very snarl comments on Twitter and social media saying that I should go to modeling, that's my area, and that politics is not beauty. Politics is, they refer it to Rangumo. So I mean, like, such unconscious biasness would limit me in my career progress, because I would want them to see me for my mind and demeanor, but they would not see me that. They would want to stereotype me, so that would affect me, and I believe also it affects
So maybe we can look at the issue of equality and equity. So what do you think is the best approach to dealing with the challenges of women in leadership?
Women in leadership. Okay, I would propose the government to form policies that encourage women to participate in more leadership roles. I would also propose, for example, we had a very historic moment. Sorry, I am running in the UDA party, and we recently signed a charter with the Deputy President of Kenya that once he steps in government in possibly in August 9th, we would be able to enact certain women-friendly policies that would encourage more women to be empowered in workplaces and also in the political scene. So that is one step, and that is an example of how equality can be, emphasized in such workplaces.
We can go
And
to
I
the
also
next question.
believe,
Okay.
yes, also I believe like if we support like women organizations or women empowerment programs, for example, there's a program that I founded called Mjengogirl Program, which trains women in construction skills. Hello, Mbona. I cannot see your viewers, but okay, hello. So it trains women in construction skills, and these are women artisans who come from the grassroots communities. So if we have like such programs supported more by the government, this would change the narrative, all around, and it would be easier to have more women in like these male-dominated industries. Yeah.
So, what do you think is the impact of having women in leadership?
First, I believe like women, we have this nurturing aspect of our, personality, and we are able to make our, able to create teams to work better because of our nature, which is we induce cooperation amongst others. We have the compassionate aspect, so definitely will enhance teamwork. Another thing I believe is that like peace will be able, like for example, peace agreements are actually likely to last if it's engaged and created by women. For example, I will still use the women officials in the UDA, and by this they forced the political candidate, presidential candidate of UDA, to be able to look at the needs of the women, and we were able to have it like written down in a contract, signed, sealed, which means that we can be able to hold him accountable once he gets into government. We can be able to hold him accountable to most of to everything that was stated in the charter. So this makes sure that the peace charter, the building gender sensitivity building is actually enacted, and it will last for even more than 15 years. Or throughout the, yeah.
So, when you talk about having the UDA party or the Kenya Kwanza coalition looking into the needs of women, which are some of these needs?
Some of these needs are, for example, this is something that I really fighting for, is to be in cabinet, to be in the government positions, 50% of the leadership roles in the government to be, to have women sitting there. Some of our, for example, we want, I don't think we face our unequal pay. Personally, that's not something that I faced. So Other needs would probably be, for example, what else? We've talked about, sorry. Sorry.
I'm sorry for that. I think we were having internet issues. So we're just looking at the issue of talking about, we were just talking about some of the needs that women would say are their needs.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we thought, I mentioned one of the needs was like we wanted at least 50% of the cabinet positions to be filled with women. And another need I would say is to have more women empowerment programs and them to be supported actually, because we are trying to change the narrative and disrupt the old age exclusion. So to have more of that, if there are more young women leaders that are coming up with such kind of programs, for them to be funded and supported as well. And then also because the challenge of sexual harassment and also the biasness, we would want them to create a very safe environment for women to work and thrive, so that they can be able to advance themselves in their career. It needs a lot of support. It's not easy. Personally, being both. Sorry.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Hello. Oh yes. So I was
I
saying,
can hear you.
personally being in both industries. Yes. I was saying, being in both industries, in the construction industry, and then also in the politics scene for young women, really is. We need a lot of male support, from the government as well.
So, do you think cultural practices are hindrance to women empowerment and women being in key leadership positions in Africa?
Yes. Oh, definitely yes. I can probably start. Okay, I can start first with the women. The women, we are perceived to just that's the culture. We are perceived to just be in the house, cooking. Hello. Okay. So we are perceived to be, in the house cooking, and it's our job, right? To, take care of the household, which is fine, but that should not be limit us to join predominantly male industries, such as, like, the construction industry, the um, maybe aviation, or any of the industries that are, perceived to be male dominated. So stop them. That shouldn't be an issue. So I believe, yes, it does influence, and it's going to take a very long time for that to change. But one step at a time, we're changing. I personally have taken the initiative to try and change, to work around that narrative. For example, through my program, Mjengogirl, which includes actually emphasizes on having women on the ground working. So I had this very funny situation where I was going to get work for my girls, and I went to this Chinese contractor, and I was trying to get some internships for the girls once they finished, and they were like, no, they cannot accept these girls because they'll confuse the men at the site, and they'll not be able to work well. So it's not even like an African cultural aspect. I think it's worldly, because it starts with the patriarchal family system, where the male, even in China, in Pakistan, everywhere, like, it's a thing that we need to fight. Yeah. And the other aspect of the culture that I feel like it really influences women in leadership was something that I experienced recently at the party, where there's the tribal factions, where, like, they believe, like, certain kind of dominate certain constituencies. So they are left for example, like, let's say, they have, like, this ODM zone. ODM is a political party in Kenya, for anyone who's not in Kenya. So they would have, like, at the zone or the UN zone. So if you're like a woman leader, a young woman leader, and you're standing there, you're vying for that police, it will be an hindrance, because if you're not a certain tribe that is then be given an opportunity. So this is really, it's a very skin deep, yeah, it's a skin deep issue.
So currently we have a crop of top tier women in leadership. And you find that young women who are emerging leaders talking about the lack of mentorship. So, do you think that this is a problem that needs to be addressed? Is it that the women who get at the top do not hold or do not reach out to help these young women to achieve what they have achieved or to get to the level that they are currently?
I this is yes, this is another problem that I've also faced. Generally, I don't know if you agree with this, but like other women never support other women, especially the older women. It's very hard for the older women to support the younger women because of certain aspects which I find like actually transform our mind to that way of thinking. We can do so much. So there's a rule for women whereby we all need to be on the same level. If you're not on the same level, then we develop some sort of hostility towards each other, and we don't want to interact or support each other. So if I for example, another thing is when what is this let's say, how hard it is for women to get into this leadership roles, and they're very few. So I've really fought hard for my success, and I get there. And there's this emerging youth female leader who wants to also get into the same position, but we want to give them a harder time to get it. I've also gone through this, so you need to also go through this journey as well for you to attain that kind of position. So I don't know what we can do as women, but I believe really there's a special place for women in hell who don't help other women. We just need to help each other. We really need to help each other. Personally, I it's very hard. I'm given more support from my male colleagues rather than the older women. Even at the party, it's quite interesting why that is so. But yeah, sadly that is the case. Yeah. Mm.
So I'm going to read Melody's Ngwazi's comment. She says, "Give power to the woman. To the woman, I'm from South Africa. I love Africa." Then I'll go back to Bona Chinendum, who said, "Hello, everyone." So as we look at the challenges that women face, maybe we can talk about unequal pay. Is this a dominant issue when it comes to women in leadership?
Funny thing, Salome, I have personally not experienced unequal pay. But yes, I don't know. I'm talking from my personal experience, but I think this might be an issue, or was an issue. You'll find, like, for example, like certain female leaders, executives are paid like maybe 8 to 25% less, than their male colleagues. I don't know. Yeah, some that would actually happen, but personally, having worked in certain kind of leadership positions, I have not faced that. So I don't know. Maybe our viewers could probably tell us if they've in the workplaces. They could share their views, their comments, experiences. But I believe, like,
So
women should be.
okay, I don't know if I I lost you at some point, but let me go to the next question. Do you think sexual or gender-based harassment is a hindrance to performance, especially to women?
Oh yes, yes. Like I told you, I have faced sexual harassment when I was working for a certain kind of organization. Even in the political party, you'll be very surprised. um, yes, it causes, it demoralizes someone. It's you don't want to be absent. You don't want to be present at work. So sometimes you're even forced to also leave work. Okay, many scenarios. I'll just choose two. One was recently at the party, when when we were doing our nominations, and just someone at the party. Hello. Okay, someone at the party just approached me and tried to solicit sex for me for tickets. They were like, "Yeah, I'll give you the party ticket by 9 p.m. And if you just are able to, do this with me, or you know." And it made me very uncomfortable, and I felt very belittled because I am much more than my gender. I have a lot to offer on the table. So if someone in such a senior level would come and ask me such a thing, it just makes me sad to see how deep the disease has just, like, filtrated the system. There's also an instance where, this is not in government, but also I was just working in a private organization, and I was trying to be promoted to work. So I had I was really doing my best trying to increase sales, developing a marketing proposal, but my thing. So the infuriating, yes, it's very infuriating, very infuriating. So my boss at the moment, at that time, was pressuring me to, always, travel with them, to go to register in the same hotel with them, and it would really affect my work performance, because it would make me very uncomfortable at work, because I'm very ambitious as a person, and I want to do my best, and so if I'm not able to do that because I'm feeling a bit violated, then I'm not able to, like, progress in my career. So I believe it really is an hindrance to performance. I don't know what the government can do, but we need to create um, safer working environments. Yes. Yes, it's very disgusting. Same thing. I was because I did not subject myself to such a kind of a thing. I had to resign, so I resigned work, and that stopped my career advancement there. But still, everything worked well.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe we could discuss issues that emanate from, you see, like gender parity issues. Like currently in Kenya, you'll find that political parties are not able to attain the gender parity threshold set by the constitution. So when you look at the gender parity issue, what is your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? Um,
Mhm.
is this an issue that needs to be dealt with from party level? Because even men are coming out and saying we cannot continue nominating women, let them vie for political seats. What is your stand on this particular issue?
To let them vie for? Sorry.
We're talking about
To let
gender
them vie for what?
parity,
Sorry. Um,
so you find in some instances you find that men say that women should be elected; they don't have to be nominated. They're talking about giving equal opportunity to everyone. So maybe you can tell us what you think about this. What's your stand?
I still believe women should still be nominated because this is like I said, this is a problem that's very skin deep, and it's an issue with everyone, even if a young lady came out and said they want to by or a governor, you would not be able to accept them in such a kind of a position. You would want them to start from the lowest position possible. So, and this is also, remember, these positions are the people who elect these people are the people of Kenya. The same, they have this issue that they're not very accepting to young women. So I believe the nominations should still stand, so that we can also be given equal opportunities in the places where that something is unfairly done, maybe an election is unfairly done, which is the case. And honestly, Salome, what I can say is the political scene is very different. It's very, very, very different. It's mostly about who has the most money, the most influence, where you're connected to the most. It's there's I would say there really is no fairness in politics. So nominations has to stand. Nomination has to stand. We have to give women positions by force. We just have to. And also, I believe even with what the governments, the political parties are trying to do, which is have like a female running mate, or having, like, for example, in Kenya Kwanza, having 50% of the cabinets to be women, is forcefully having women in the government, which is really needed. Some things we have to do them by force. We just have to. And also, I believe even in this industry, no fairness.
So, looking at the position of women in leadership and looking at Africa at large, how do you think the women are performing?
Sorry, I lost you for a minute there. Sorry, Salome.
So just looking at Africa at large, how do you think the women are performing in terms of leadership? I think we're having connectivity issues.
There was a slight connection problem. Hello, hi.
Yes, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you and we can see you as well.
Okay. So I was saying, I think we are actually heading in the right direction. In the last decade, I've seen quite a number of countries appointing female presidents, like, you know, for example, like Gabon, Ethiopia, Liberia. I recently also in Kenya, they are now welcoming the running mate to be a woman. So I believe we are slowly progressing in a very good way, and there's hope for females in politics, in government, and yeah, in the leadership roles. There's really much hope. I believe so.
So maybe you can give us your takeaway and your final word.
Okay, so I would say uh, the women, we are very strong. We are very strong. So it's not about changing the way the world perceives us. It's changing how the world perceives our strength, because we're already strong. We're not weak women. And I'm just welcoming more women, and especially the young ones, to keep pushing, to lift up your voices, so that you can, you know, speak for the voiceless. And then once you get there, don't let anyone stop you. Keep pushing, keep pushing. um yeah, everything will all be well. Yeah.
So maybe you can tell us how your campaign is going on. How are things?
I would say that and it's a very different ball game. It's interesting. I would say at first I was a bit naive to, you know, to how things work, but I will still maintain my characters and my morals in this game. Um, the people really like the idea of having a young lady lead them in the award. However, I there's still, you know, some factions that I'm trying to fight. You know, they say that I'm not. For example, like let's say I'm running in Dagoretti North constituency. So they say Dagoretti North constituency is an ODM zone area, which is for the Luya and Luos. So only those candidates will be elected. So that is very unfair. However, I will still keep pushing to the end. I mean, I already, even by Vine, I'm sure I've inspired a lot of young women to do so in the next elections, and I believe I'm doing something. So yeah, I will carry on, keep pushing in the campaign.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. We've come to the end of our interview. We wish you all the best, and we hope that you clinch the seats that you're seeking to get. Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you so
comments
much.
and suggestions.
Thank you so much.